Hey, howdy folks, this is Howie at Cedar Creek Homestead, and this is my lovely wife Josie here, and I'm finally getting her to get on film with me a little bit. And in case if you're wondering what's wrong with her face, I've been kidding her saying that that's her snake scales coming off, but she helped me work cattle the other day. She does the book work, writing down the numbers and stuff, so we were out there and it was sunnier than what we thought it was. And she has a big hat she'll wear and put on sunscreen. She's real light complected, so she burns real easy. And me and our son, we don't. It takes a lot for us to ever burn, but she'll burn real easy, and she wasn't prepared for that. So she comes in, and later we realized that she got a sunburn in April. She's already had a sunburn, so now she's peeling a little bit. But I talked her into being on film anyway here, and during this time of quarantine, whatever you all are calling it there, we are actually having a good time. We're enjoying our life here, and we're actually getting some stuff caught up and done. And we got some coffee here made. Do y'all want a cup of coffee?
Well, one thing I'll say is they say that to make, when life gives you lemons, to make lemonade. So I was thinking about my sunburn, and not that not having a sunburn makes it any better for me, but one thing I can say is at least I don't have to go out in public with peeling skin, and I can
Don't have to go to
recuperate here
church
at
right
home.
now. We're not having church right now, so I told her, I said, you got a little while, your scales ought to fall off by the time that's the time it comes down.
Thank you.
Oh, well, we've been busy getting ready to start garden season. It's just still a little cool here. I know some of you, like Deep South Homestead and them, are really warming up and actually been hot, and some of them that have these greenhouses like Okie Rob down here in southern Oklahoma, he has had to put shade cloth because it's getting so hot in the greenhouse. If I understand right, that's what he's having to do. And I was thinking of here, we've still had a little cool spells, and I think Saturday morning was down to 38 degrees, which is cold once you have some 80-degree days. But I think our freezing temperatures are probably over with, or I'm hoping they are.
We're supposed to have a couple of days later this week, I think, that are going to be in the 80s, so we're getting there.
I'm thinking that we probably won't plant anything until after about the 15th of April, and or not 15th, but after Easter. That's pretty close to the 15th. But it seems like after Easter we're usually pretty good. Right here, we usually get, it seems like, a little cold snap right at Easter. And this week, Thursday and Friday, which Easter will be Sunday, Good Friday will be this Friday. And usually after Good Friday, when I was a kid, everyone would say, well, you're pretty safe to plant here. Although there has been times that that's proved to be wrong. We've actually had late snows. It's been a long time. We've actually had some of our biggest snows in March, but we've got that behind us. And this year, we didn't get any snow at all. In fact, we had a pretty mild winter all year. But now we're in this Kung flu season and trying to survive. But what we're doing here at our homestead is just our normal routine. I don't think we've changed a whole lot, except we're not going places. She usually goes to town once a week to Walmart and or someplace to shop, and we've kind of cut that out because we really have enough stuff. We don't really have to go, but you are going.
I'm going to the grocery pickup only, and to the pharmacy, and that's it.
But
not only to protect ourselves, but just in case, to protect other people too. And I think right now it's important to love your neighbors.
Mm-hmm. And there's some people, this virus, have had it and didn't even know they had it, and so they're carriers, kind of silent carriers, and we could be that way. We could be silent carriers.
Well, we've been sick. I was sick for a couple of weeks, and then you got sick, and after it was all over, we're not 100% over it, but we're better than we was.
We never ran a fever or nothing.
No.
But we still could have had the virus.
We had something.
Yeah,
we had something.
It's kind of like every time your throat gets scratchy, you think, oh no, is that
coming
on? And a friend of mine died. Well, I don't know about being a close friend, but a guy that I know, acquaintance, and it's kind of a long story behind all that. But me and my son went to do a repair for him, and we didn't. He next door he has a kind of a rental trailer, and his daughter was going to move into it, and he told us that his wife would be going over and have it unlocked, and for us just to help ourselves. And so we did, and when we come by his home, I started to stop in there, and my son gets so fussy if I get to visit him too long. So he is kind of like, Dad, let's go. So I'll just call him. So I called him and I told him what we had done over there, and that it was fixed and stuff, and he said okay. And I think it was the next day that he had put something on the internet, a Facebook post that showed that he was enjoying his day, and 2 days later he was dead. And all the symptoms that he had was, I think he actually died of a heart attack, but he had the coronas, or the virus, whatever the symptoms they're calling that right now. So anyway, he's dead, and there's been others around here had it. We're real rural, and you think we would be pretty much out of the picture, but that seems to be spreading everywhere. But I believe we're gonna get through this, and it's gonna be over with. But everybody keeps talking about that, and it kind of gets old just talking about the plague that we're in. So we're going to talk about some other stuff here. While I got Josie here, she's been canning, and she's canned some spaghetti sauce. Now, this would make ragu eat their heart out. This is the best spaghetti sauce you have ever had. Now, she thinks I'm just partial, but my grandmother was Italian, and she made the best spaghetti sauce you've ever had. You could eat the sauce without even any noodles. People were always wanting her to make sauce for them, and when I went to tech school down in Houston years ago, she would make me sauce like in a big gallon jug, and I would freeze it in little deals, and when I wanted spaghetti, I'd get that out. But my granny could really make the sauce, and this is pretty close. Now, Granny put mushrooms, and hers was kind of chunky, where Josie doesn't like the chunky, so she makes it the way she likes it. But I love it, and our son loves it. And anyway, tell them a little bit about your sauce. Here, Miss Betty Crocker, tell them about your sauce.
Well, one reason why I think that he's saying that it is so good is because we've been on a keto diet, and he hasn't been eating pasta. So we kind of relaxed our rules a little bit since we've been having to quarantine or stay safer at home, and been eating a few things. And so I think that's one reason why he thinks it's so good. But basically, but this time of year, obviously, I didn't have any fresh tomatoes to put in my to put in it. But so what I did was I found some of the big cans of tomato sauce that I ordered from Walmart online and had it shipped to me. And then I put my spices in it, put it in my big roasting pan cooker, and cooked it all day. It's a little bit easier because you don't have to cook all the water out of your fresh tomatoes to make your sauce. And then I added the seasonings, and then just followed the canning rules, and that's what we come up with. But to say that it would make ragu eat their hearts out, I think is a little bit of a stretch, kind of like those fish they catch sometimes.
Well, I think it's the world renowned. You might set that over. I just worry if my chair knocked it over. I'd hate to waste a good jar of sauce. This here is from some rabbits that we had raised and we had in the freezer, and she canned that up. Explain that to them.
Well,
let me just tell you about this real quick. Sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
But this here rabbit makes the best turkey and dressing. But if you're going to have people over, don't tell them you got rabbit in there. They won't eat it. But they'll brag on it and think it's the best they've ever had. And let me tell you, it is. But if they think they got a rabbit in it, people will gag. So just, we don't, because we love it. But anyway, that's kind of her secret dressing recipe. Go ahead, hon.
Well, it's not a secret recipe. It's just what I had on hand, and I don't like to buy store-bought chicken broth or any kind of broth from the store because it's so easy to make your own broth from bones from chicken or turkey or beef or any of that kind of stuff, and it's so much better for you. So I had this rabbit. We've got a couple of beefs scheduled to go to the butcher, and get processed, but it's going to be a couple of months because they're so backlogged with all of the stuff that they're going through right now. But that gives me time to get my freezer cleaned out, because a lot of times in the summertime we have a lot of produce coming off and different things coming off at the same time, and I can't do it all. I can't can all the pickles and all the stuff, so I fill my freezers up, can what I'm able to, and then I have to go back and pull stuff out of the freezer when I have time and can it. Wintertime is good because you're heating. This has to be pressure canned because it's meat, and it heats your house up. And so wintertime is perfect for that because I'm not adding any extra heat in the summertime to the house and making the air conditioner work harder, even though I am married to an air conditioner man. But anyway, that's what I did with this, and I'll do it with chicken too. I haven't done, I'll just be honest with you, I haven't canned a whole lot of beef yet or pork yet, but my intentions are to do that. I just haven't done it yet. But this is simple. I think it scares people because it's meat, but it's really simple. Some people cook their meat first, some people raw pack. I cooked mine first simply because I think it just makes a better eye presentation on the jar. When you raw pack it, some of the meat will stick to the jar. It's good, but it just doesn't look good. And I'm sure if we could see through the cans of meat and stuff that we buy at the grocery store that's shelf stable, they probably wouldn't look very good either. But all we really see is when we take the lid off the can and dump it in a bowl, we're not really seeing what it looks like on the inside of the can. But anyway, I did that, and this time I didn't keep the bones and make a rabbit broth because I've got rabbit broth put up, and I need to spend my time doing some of the other things that I've got.
We don't raise rabbits anymore.
Not anymore.
In case you're wondering where I haven't showed a rabbit video in quite a while, but I don't know. It's been a few months back when we, probably last fall or a year ago fall or spring, sometime in there. Time gets to running so quickly, but we killed the rest of our rabbits, sent them to freezer camp, and there is in the freezer. So she mostly this is the best way. It's so tender and it just seems like it's great. But when she has spare time, especially in the winter, and when it's colder in the winter, is a good time to heat your house up instead of doing it in the summertime. Of course, like she said, in the summer she's so busy. We got this says bean soup. That's the mix. That's some different kinds of
15 beans.
You know, if it wouldn't have been for pinto beans when we were growing up, my family and hers, we probably would have starved to death. We ate beans at our house here. We're, of course, raised right behind us here in the old house. It's all gone now, but we had beans almost every meal. I still love beans, but there was a spell where I didn't like beans. But you can go to Sam's. I don't know if you can right now, but we buy like a 50-pound bag and put it'll fill up 2 5-gallon buckets usually, and put lids on it. And you can can beans, and she also buys bagged beans. This was some where they call it bean soup, where it's got all the little beans in it.
15 bean soup. It has lentils.
But I didn't raise these in the garden.
Yeah.
I wished I had. We do raise some beans in the garden, but this is actually.
But to get ahead, to have, and one reason why a lot of people don't understand why you can beans, and I love to cook a pot of beans on the stove, but when this stuff will come in handy in the summertime, when I'm in a hurry doing other things, busy with the garden or whatever, and I don't have time to stand wait all day long on a pot of beans to cook, going back and checking them and adding water and doing all the different things, because I've got so many other things to do. So it's a convenience item, and you can have convenience items at your house on your shelf that you made yourself, that you don't have to rely on the grocery store. Now, I'm thankful for the grocery store. I'm not putting the grocery stores down. But right now, when we can't go to the grocery store, shouldn't go to the grocery store all that much, I'm thankful that I have stuff like this, because with this you can make anything. You can make refried beans, you can make any kind of dish that calls for beans, you can make salads, you can make all kinds of stuff, chilies. Now this one's a 15 bean soup, so I don't know how refried beans would be with that, but I mean, if we get hungry enough, we might try it. And I just now, I'll be 50 this year, and I just now started liking butter beans. So I did can some butter beans too, and pinto
I love
beans,
butter
and
beans.
there's really lots of stuff that you can do, and it's just a matter of getting over the fear of the canners. I think people are scared of it, and I can understand that because I've been scared of them too. But once you learn it, and there's so many good books, and there's so many videos that you can watch, and clear directions on how to do things safely. They've improved the pressure canners, and now they've approved steam canners for hot water bath stuff. And that's good too on pickles and things like that. And I have fun doing it. Now in the summertime, sometimes my hair will be going 5 different directions, and all kinds of mess when I'm trying to keep up with stuff. But it's still fun, and it's still enjoyable. It's something that I just feel good doing it, because I feel like I'm helping provide for my family. I feel like I'm helping to relax Howie just a little bit. What I mean by that is that he knows when he comes home, he knows that the Lord is blessed, and he's provided, and we've got a pantry that's stocked with good food.
Amen. Yeah, well, we're enjoying this, and we just want to say a big thank you to all of you who are watching. And I know some are going through very rough times. We've been blessed here that we really seem like it's spared us, but we don't know but what's in the future, this financial impact and a lot of things. And we're just thankful that the Lord had blessed us with things, and food and stuff, and a roof up above us, and shoes on our feet. And we ain't got a lot, but we're thankful for what we got. And the Lord's been mighty good to us, and we appreciate all of our subscribers. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up. Comment what you've been doing, if you've been canning or doing something. We were going to close out today with a little song, and a gospel song, and we hope you enjoy this here. And we're going to give it a try and see how this goes. We sing quite a bit at church and stuff, and we are asked to sing this particular song quite a bit, and different people like it. And so we're going to try this here and see if we can do it outside here like this. When I look around and see the good things He has done for me, I know I'm unworthy of them all, and His blessings He freely gives. I owe my life to Him. I've got so much to thank Him for. Well, I've got so much to thank Him for, so much to praise Him for. You see, He has been so good sure
Jesus'
appreciate you joining us today, and hope you're having a blessed day and a blessed time. And one benefit, I think, of this whole outcome, it seems like families are being together more, having to be together. Daddies are home more, and folks are trusting the Lord more. So those are some good things.
That's right.
And
two, I think sometimes people try to act like everything's perfect, and we know that everything's not perfect in this world. And you know, people squabble. You're in tight quarters, you're going to squabble. We squabble some. And we had a lady in our church, a dear lady in our church, most patient lady I've ever seen. And she told one time, or her husband told, one of them told anyways, that what they'd do, when she'd get aggravated at him, she went out and picked up sticks. So he's been telling me, he said, well, just go out there and pick up sticks. Well, so I got to thinking about that, and I told our pastor the other day, I said, you know, with him aggravating me, if I went out and picked up sticks every time I got aggravated at him, it'd look like a family of hungry beavers moved onto our farm. And anyway, everybody we're going to make it through. And God is good to us. And it's a scary time, but we can trust in Jesus, and we can rest in Jesus. And I know some people don't believe all of that, but I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I have that comfort, and knowing that we might have to eat some beans, and we may eat some fried potatoes. We may have to eat a few things that's not on our keto diet, but we're going to make it through. We'll make it through.
Yes, that's right. And we sure appreciate you watching today. May God richly bless you, and we're gone.